Hey everyone, Gozyuger here, and Happy New Year! I hope everyone had a safe and pleasant holiday. Ever since I brought back reviews in 2025, they've honestly gotten great reception, a lot more buzz than I initially thought. So much so that why not try to keep the momentum going and do a review in full force today. What are we taking a look at, you may ask? Well, last year was the 50th anniversary of the Super Sentai franchise, and while Sentai is indeed going to be taking a back seat for the next decade after Gozyuger ends, I want to take a look at the Tegasword and everything else from my collection in Gozyuger as it stands, and see if it's any better than the counterpart that was released 5 years prior with the Geared Slinger and the Zenkaiger toy line. The DX Tegasword came out in late February as of 2025. The Tegasword itself is an honest and smart move by Bandai's part as they decided to combine both the main mecha and the changer for this year, which to my knowledge is the only Sentai at the time that has done this. As you can see, it takes some notes from the Infinity Gauntlet, or at least I assume it takes notes from the Infinity Gauntlet, because every single time when I look at this thing, I just want to say,
fine. I'll do it myself.
Cast in a nice pearl gold plastic with accents of silver and light blue, with gray and gunmetal on the handle as well as the front face of the sword itself. It's honestly a nice display piece, and it works as a pretty good centerpiece option, as it is a marvel to look at, even with the custom paint job done by yours truly. However though, before we can talk about handling, the handle. My god, is it abysmal. I get it, you don't want something too big or bulky because it affects the future robot mode that we'll cover, but it shouldn't be this cumbersome to try to hold on to, not unless you're a fan of arthritis and a masochist. Also, yes, motion sensors are really bad. Moving on. As you can see in standby mode, it pretty much has no real function aside from the standard 3 voice phrases that you do get. However though, that's where the season's gimmick comes in. The Sentai Rings. The Sentai Rings being the first ring-based gimmick, and honestly, the strangest choice if I can be honest. Now, here's the thing, when it comes to gimmicks, I collect things that are unique but are also fun to collect. Whether it's the Sentai gears like I mentioned, or the Chemi-cards. The reason why these worked so well for me was because the Sentai gears were like coins but had the main Red Ranger on the front and the team's logo on the back, and unlocked various functions from the changer of that year. And the Chemi-cards, well, I think I've already gushed enough about the Chemi-cards as it is, so there's no point in me retreading what I've already been saying for like 2 years straight. The Sentai Rings, however, they feel like they're the bastard love child of the Ranger Keys and the Wizard Rings combined together. And I'm saying that as fairly as possible because honestly, the Sentai Rings designs don't make a lot of sense. Like, you have a basic picture of some form of iconography from the Sentai of choice for both the foreground and the background, but then as a twist of the dial on the back, you have the team's Red Ranger in the background, and these range from changers, mecha, or some form of symbolism that made them stand out for it at the time. And that's only for the legendary Sentai Rings. The main team rings, however, I prefer these. Golden trim around the animal, around the gemstone in the shape of an animal, and the black visor surrounding the front. These are what the legacy rings should have been, the face of the Red Ranger in a transparent style. Don't get me wrong, I love the artistic choices that they made for some of these, but others, not so much. Having a Ranger head would have made more sense, but at that point it would have been a bastardization of the Legend Rider Wizard rings, which I can understand if that was the reason why they went with this choice instead. I guess one positive I have to say is that for the DX Sentai rings, they came with a larger ring finger band for adult collectors, which is genius thinking on Bandai's part, unless you're me and have skinny fingers and they can't really fit. Nor can they fit in the Tegasword because they only take the smaller ring bands, so that's a bit of an annoying flaw. Speaking of which, we should probably get back to that. Engage. And of course, there's more than just the core 5 and their change sounds. Yes, the limited edition, or should I say semi-limited edition Gozyuger ring has its own unique sound, which I find pretty neat. As for attack sounds, they're all pretty much the same. Of course, Legend Sentai rings have their own unique sounds too. Now, there is one more subset of Sentai rings that I've been saving until this moment, because it's the one with the most features, the Tegasword rings. These rings are not only donned on the Ranger's opposite hand, but during fights, when they're inserted into the Tegasword, they act as their primary weapons. I have two here, the red ring and the green ring. The green ring coming from the DX Eagle Shooter 50 pack. Now, to my knowledge, these pack-in rings are exclusive to their DX toys and have been re-released in the DX Candy Toy or Gashapon range. Which is okay, because honestly, I only ever really cared for the green ring because of one thing.
They're just like me for real!
And then it does more. As you can see, Tegasword Red is a bit bulky, and honestly I didn't like the robot mode that much when videos were coming out, but the more I fiddled and toyed with it in person, the more I honestly love it. Sure, it's a basic brick, but the details and engineering and ingenuity of the design and how all this comes together in both the changer mode and the robot mode is something I appreciate. And of course, like this show, you can use other forms of the colored rings to access the other colored forms of the Tegasword. And of course, it doesn't stop there. The Gozyuger and Legend Sentai rings can be accessed in the mecha mode itself. Which is something that they didn't really need to do, but man was it a good inclusion. So as it stands, it's definitely a unique and an out-of-the-box changer design, I just wish it was bigger to an extent, and the rings are honestly a toss-up for me. However, this isn't the end of the video. The DX Queen Tegajune was released in early summer of 2025, and quite frankly, I'm glad that we live in a time where villain/rival changers aren't P Bandai exclusives. And yes, I'm still burned that this thing was a P Bandai release out the floodgates. And no, I will not be picking up the PDX version because I think it's too late to try to steal my heart again, Bandai. So stop. Stop trying. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop teasing me. This thing is by far the best way to do a recolor of a mainline changer in a long time, because while the Tegasword is as its name suggests, the Tegajune is a nice, sleek, and beautiful gun toy. And yes, while the blade on the side is a bit obtuse, I can honestly excuse it because this thing takes the core functions of its golden counterpart and changes it just enough to make them work. Included in this, you only get one ring, but honestly, this is more than makes up for it because by the time you get this, you already have a pretty sizable amount of Sentai rings. Main functions are still the same when you power it on, too. However, though, when you get into the transformation and other functions, you'll actually see the golden fruits of its labor. Hot take, but when it comes to saying the names of various Sentais, I feel like the Tegajune does the job better than the Tojuliner because unlike this toy, there's a different voice actor who says the names with such dark cadence and such a sinister tone. It feels better than putting some distortion over the current toy's voice actor. However, my only real complaint is that they should have gotten Tegajune's actress to say the names, because this is technically her in gun form, but it's a very minor nitpick. Speaking of Tegajune in the robot mode, I don't mean to sound vulgar or anything, but this design hard. And of course, much like the Tegasword in robot mode, it does have the ability to do the other mecha forms. Also, for those who are wondering, no, I don't have Good Burn as of this recording. I do have the Teganaguru coming in March, though, but honestly, it doesn't really do much for me in terms of compatibility with the toy line. I only got the Naguru because I just like the color scheme of it. I don't know, there's just something about the whites and blues of the standard release that I just don't really want in my collection, so moving on. Overall, the Gozyuger line is pretty expansive. While not as impressive as the Zenkaiger toy line or the Gokaiger's toy line by any means, the style and choices that they made with these releases so far have been pretty well thought out. So overall, I'd say the toy line for our 50th anniversary has been worth it. And yes, it is inevitable that it is going to be canceled, but honestly, I don't really mind it this much because there is a big legacy that's left behind by it. And another one that's 30 years old as of this recording as well. But with all that being said though, if you guys find anything Gozyuger related in the wild, I highly recommend it as it is a steal. And with all that, this is Gozyuger Green 1290 signing out and hoping that your guys' new year is nice and bright. Join me next time where we take a look at the DX Zets driver and my current collection for that toy line. Shh. Spoilers.